Hello, everybody, and welcome. I am so glad to have with me today Matt Hasbrouck, for the very first time, the new COO of Fairview Park Hospital. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you, James.
I know you've had a busy schedule. We've been trying to get you for the last, 3 months or so. And you've been training and traveling. And, of course, have you seen your wife much?
I think so. She doesn't.
Well, we're glad you took the time to talk to us
Thank
today.
you very
I
much.
appreciate that.
Appreciate the opportunity.
Let's start out. Just tell our viewers a little bit about yourself.
Well, I'm born and raised in Minnesota, just south of Minneapolis, and I grew up there about 25 years. Spent some time in North Carolina, and then went to the University of North Carolina, received my graduate degree, and then got transferred over to Salt Lake City, Utah, where we spent about 3 years working in a local hospital there. And then had the opportunity to come to Dublin, Georgia, to take on the chief operating position and work with the team here. I'm married, no kids at the moment. Really interested in reading. I do enjoy sports, particularly hockey, which I know is not
We don't have a hockey team.
Yeah, all that fond of here, but big Minnesota Vikings fan, and like to do a little bit of guardian from time to time.
Okay, the Stanley Cup. Who you for there?
Well, I'm kind of the Wild's out of it, so I'm not really. I don't really mind who wins at this point in time.
Okay, you don't have a dog in the race.
No,
huh?
I don't. I sure don't.
That first trip to Dublin, what did you think? First impression. Tell us what you thought about our town.
Well, first impressions. One, they were recruiting at a good time for Dublin, given that it was November time frame and it wasn't as hot as it is today.
Good.
So that was probably a good thing. But how I look at it is basically August in Minnesota here, 12 months a year. And but this is what I thought. I grew up, like I said, in Minnesota. We had a family lake place up in the north that we would spend the majority of the summer at. Smaller town, smaller than here. And I always loved going up there. Just good folks, good family, and overall just good old values. So when I came here, I was kind of trying to see if it was going to be very similar. And it really was. Everybody was very welcoming. I enjoyed just the overall beauty of this place, the green. The lawns weren't as green at that point in time, but nevertheless, I knew that it was a very beautiful place. Mm-hmm. Getting to know the team here, as well as reaching out to some of the local leaders, and I fell in love with the place, and I knew that my wife would too, and we've enjoyed it the 4 months we've been here so far.
What was the determining factor made the decision to come to Fairview in Dublin?
Well, I think two things. One is the overall fit with the team and the hospital. My first conversation with Don, I knew there was an instant synergy there, and as I developed the relationship with him and his inner team, and then meeting some of the staff here, I knew for sure that I'd fit in, and they really that was the one thing. And then secondly was the ability to get involved in the community, and I saw a number of opportunities to really branch out, get outside my comfort zone, and my wife's as well, and do some good things in the community to give back. So I just saw on both sides, but the community and the hospital had great potential to work with us.
Well, you have a very large job description. You have a lot on your plate. What's the best thing about your job here at Fairview?
I think the best thing about my job is really I get to get outside of my office, and I'm in the middle of it all. I think what I enjoy most is the ability to interact with different people throughout the facility, from physicians to nurses to patients to family members to housekeepers, et cetera, et cetera. It's just great to walk the hallways and say hello and catch up with everyone. And I think that's my favorite part of it all.
Fairview Park, I was talking to Don a while ago, very big on community. Mm-hmm. And if you took the 700 or so employees here and multiplied the hours that they volunteer every week, it would be just a mind-boggling contribution to our community versus this hospital not being here. How do you feel about community?
Well, like I said, growing up and throughout my professional years so far, I've been working in larger cities. and sometimes it's difficult to get a foothold into the community and really make a difference. And coming to Dublin, like I said, one reason was I really wanted to take that opportunity to reach out and get involved. And community is everything in the sense that, when you're 1,000 miles from your family, you need to find support, and I think this community really does that for us. Yeah. I'm really excited about what we've accomplished so far, where we've gotten involved, the people that have reached out, and it really just made it feel more like home. And I have to appreciate that, and I value that.
One thing growing up here, Fairview Park has won it seems like every month there's a new award, especially when it comes to patient safety and quality. And I know you're involved a lot in that now. Why is that so important to not just win these awards, but to be able to be recognized by your peers and knowing that your patients get the best quality treatment that they could get anywhere around?
Well, one thing, within the healthcare industry, we have competition. There's competition, maybe not directly in this city, but definitely well around it. There is competition, and we need to give the best service. And with service, that's quality. Mm-hmm. I think service is two things. One is the quality of care you receive, as well as the overall interaction, the way people made you feel during that episode. And I think that's what we pride ourselves on. That's where our core values are. That's our mission. And we see it starting at who we hire. And I think if we're going to do anything, we need to put patient safety and quality first.
Mm-hmm. We were talking with Don a while ago, and you mentioned the interaction with different people, the doctors, the maintenance people, whatever it is, but he was talking about how much you work. You put in a long day every day. I wanted to know, did you work hard as Dr. Zhang? Dr. Zhang's known for working unbelievable hours, so I don't know if you got him beat yet. It's hard to beat Dr. Zhang, but what is a typical day like? What time do you get here, and tell me what a typical day like at Fairview?
Well, that's really up to my administrative assistant, Wendy. She keeps me on task. She keeps me productive, and I think the world of her. And she is she's just a great colleague and team member. But really, it starts anywhere from 7 to 8:30. Mm-hmm. Depending, sometimes there's physician meetings, and those typically start at 7 in the morning. But I like to get in here around 8:30, and I know I'm most productive during the afternoon and the evening. So I make sure I get a good night's rest and get in here. But for the most part, I come in and you just never know what's going to be happening. We're a 24-hour, 7 days a week facility that has things going on all the time, so you can never predict. With that said, I'm always trying to make sure that I'm rounding the facility and meeting with our folks, be it our volunteers, to our employees, to our physicians. So I spend the majority of the day out of my office. A lot of times you'll come in and I will not be there because when I do spend the majority of my time in office, it's typically during the evenings. Mm-hmm. Now, my wife doesn't like that all that much, but the fact is I need to catch up on some of the things from an administrative perspective that needs to get done, mm-hmm. and that's just how I operate. So that hopefully that's a good enough idea. But I'm walking the floors, I'm talking to folks, I'm trying to get to the root of problems. Really, my job is to make sure the folks on the ground that are providing the support, providing the care, are doing what they need to do, and they have the support that they need to provide the best service possible.
So if we did a day in the life of you at Fairview, we'd have to walk a lot, right?
You'd have to walk a lot. It'd be kind of boring. But it is entertaining. You just don't know what you're going to get.
Yeah, and that's probably the fun of it, to be able to face those things as they come, and obviously you're a problem solver. You go through the day solving problems.
Well, this is a people business, and it's all about relationships, and it's all about making life easier for folks and trying to figure out problems that allow people to really do what they're here to do, and that's to help folks in the community get quality, compassionate care.
Mm-hmm. in the last few years, obviously in the news, all we hear about is health care, the Affordable Care Act, and not necessarily to concentrate on the Affordable Care Act, but over the next 10 years, where do you see health care going?
Well, I think it's going to continue, particularly with some of the changes both at a federal and state level. You're going to see what I like to call is a greater focus on the continuum of care. So right now we have, I would say, silos in the sense we call our primary care, we have some acute care settings, and then we have post-acute care settings. And there's a lot of different entities in between. But the fact is we need, as an acute setting, we need to be more accountable not only for the care delivered beforehand, but even after. And making sure we have those partnerships with folks in the community, from rehab to skilled nursing facilities, to with our physicians on the primary care side, et cetera, et cetera. That's where the focus is going to be. And you're going to see that incentives and payment models are all aligned with that.
And, of course, we know at Fairview, y'all's motto really is neighbors helping neighbors. What about the mission? What is the mission of Fairview Park?
I've kind of alluded to that through the conversation. Our mission is really to treat communities like family, and help them get quality, compassionate care. And if we can do that, we're in it for the long haul. I think that's what folks are looking for. Neighbors helping neighbors, but we're treating them like family, and we're getting them the best care they can get.
And our market here, of course, you've already figured out Dublin is town. All the outlying areas, Johnson County, Treutlen County, Twiggs County, all come here for the hospital, the doctor. How does it feel coming in every day knowing you've got the weight of basically 250,000 people out there that could need your service at any time? How does that feel?
Well, I'll tell you, it's easier to think about it knowing that you got a good team. I look at the team that I work with every day, and the amount of experience, the amount of integrity and compassion and work ethic that they offer every day allows me to sleep at night, because I know I'm very cognizant that I don't know everything. I'm young in my career. I'm trying to learn, but knowing that I have folks that can answer my questions and can help me out, it makes me feel a lot better. Knowing that I can go to somebody, be it Don Avery or Donna Trickey or Ted Short or anyone else within the team here, it gives me a lot of confidence.
And on the end, one thing I hear a lot about Fairview is that cafeteria around there. The food, people will come here just to eat lunch at Fairview. You don't hear about that at hospitals. You know, who goes to eat at the hospital unless you're visiting someone having a baby or in the hospital and you grab something to eat in the cafeteria. But let me get your comment there. Obviously, you've eaten the cafeteria already. You've been here a few months. But tell me about that.
Well, I'll tell you, I'm not clinical by nature. And so I try to do what I can do to help with this facility. And the two things that really the three things are cleanliness, maintenance and support, and food. Those seem to be those are the comforts. You know, I want to make sure.
Priority, huh?
That's probably the other way around. But I want to make sure people are getting something good to eat. I want to make sure they're in a clean environment and that it's sturdy and it's standing. It's got the things they need to make sure that we can operate properly. The food I have been impressed with. I've worked or have volunteered at many different facilities, and I've been very impressed with the ability of Donnell and the team over there in Food and Nutrition Services. I was pleased to hear that folks come over here after church on a Sunday to eat lunch from time to time, and I think that's just tremendous. And we're going to continue to improve upon that. We just brought on a new chef. His name's Abraham, and he's brought a lot of new dishes. We had pulled pork yesterday. We're going to have a luau coming up. We've had he makes the most tasty ham I've had in a long time, and I've been just pleased with that, and I've been pleased with the overall cleanliness of the facility and the upkeep. This place is just gorgeous.
Yeah, and the people, and you mentioned Abraham, which is a great addition, but the people, I was in here in December with pneumonia, but the people that come to your room and serve the food. It seemed to care so much. And just a short story, I couldn't eat. Of course, with pneumonia, you're very sick. Every day I couldn't eat, and the girl bring me my food every day, and I found her after I got out of the hospital and thanked her for what she did. She didn't realize how important she was, but she said, "What's your favorite food? You got to eat something. You've got to eat." I said, "Well, I love fish. Now I'm bringing you fish tonight."
Oh, that's great.
She brought me fish that night, and I eat every bit of it, But for her to care enough, and you see that throughout the hospital, where it's the nurse attending to you, or the Dr. Agarwal, come in to check on you, or Dr. Hatton in ER. They all seem to have that enthusiasm and genuine care. You can't train that.
No.
You have to be raised with certain things like that. And I don't think you can hire. I wouldn't contribute to hiring as much as, people are raised that way, and they genuinely care about people. And obviously, you feel the same way.
Well, yeah, and it starts, like you said. Sometimes you just can't train it. It's an innate ability, but it's our job to find that out in the community,
right,
and bring those folks in. Again, it starts with our vision, mission, values, and if they resonate with all those and they have good technical skills, we'll bring them in. And clinical or non-clinical, we all are part of the patient experience. And if it's either making your room clean, serving you food, coming in and praying with you, or helping you out with your clinical care, that's what we're all here to do. And so, again, we just want to make sure we have the right folks, and I believe we do. I've seen a tremendous culture here at Fairview Park, and that comes from the overall 500 plus people that we have here working with us.
And I know you're already serving on some boards. One that's very dear to us at TV 35 is the Adult Daycare Center here. Alzheimer, dementia touches so many families, and over the next 10, 20 years, it's going to affect even more. So we're proud of our lighthouse here, and we appreciate you serving on the board. That's a great board to serve on.
Well, thank you very much. I was pleased to get the invite from Nelda, and so far, I've been quite pleased with what I'm seeing, and that goes again back to the whole continuity of care. These folks are now, in the latter stages of a disease, and we want to make sure that they're getting what they need. Now, if that's acute care or a place for social settings, we need to make sure within our community we're able to serve them.
Yeah, we're very lucky to have that. Thank you very much, brother.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you very much.
And we hope you're here a long, long time.
Well, we'll see.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you very much. And thank you so much for joining us today.